I was recently reading an old forum thread about an unsolved mystery that happened in Russia in 2013. It has been 5 years since. Anyone had heard from this girl, and her case remains open to this day. It's one of those mysteries that gets stranger and stranger the more you read into it. And there are so many unanswered questions. In this video, I will be reading through the entire forum thread and sharing my thoughts along the way. So let's get started. This thread is posted on a Russian forum called Podvig. The author is a man named Sergey. He says that he used to live in Samara, but now lives in St. Petersburg. In 2013, while he was still living in Samara, he befriended a guy named Sasha, who told him about his sister. This is where we meet our vanishing girl. Her name was Valyria, and she was born on November 1990. At the time of the story, she was 23 years old. She worked at a popular restaurant in their city. On June 11, 2013, Valyria would disappear without a trace. Her last place of employment was the restaurant. According to the staff there, they hadn't seen her for 3 days. They say that she'd just stopped coming to work, and no one thought much of it because she often took time off. But after 3 days of not showing up, the staff began to get worried because she had never taken a 3-day break before. And when they called her phone number, it went straight to voicemail. Valyria lived with her parents and younger brother. One day her father came to the restaurant looking for her. He said that she had been acting strange lately, and that she had mentioned something about going away for a while. After hearing this, the restaurant staff became convinced that something must have happened to her. They filed a missing persons report on June 2013. When the police investigated her apartment, they found nothing unusual. Her laptop was turned on, and her phone was left on the table, which was unusual because she always took them with her when she left the house. They also found that all of her clothing was still in the apartment, even her underwear. Her bed was made and her food was still in the fridge. Everything was exactly as it would be if she had just stepped out for a quick errand and would be back any minute. However, she never returned. Here's a photo of young Valyria. She looks like such a sweet girl. As you can imagine, her family was absolutely distraught. Her mother stayed on the phone with Sarah G for hours as she desperately tried to figure out what could have happened to her daughter. Her mother died a few months later from a heart attack. Here's another eerie detail. The police found blood in Valyria's bedroom. Apparently she had injured herself at some point and had bandaged the wound herself. She didn't tell her family about it. Her family assumed that the wound wasn't serious. Her brother even joked about it, saying that they should sell her blood to the hospital. If only they had known that this dark humor would soon become a reality, her brother might have acted differently. The blood was sent off to be analyzed. But the results were inconclusive because it had already dried and there weren't any usable DNA markers. This is the last confirmed sighting of Valyria. If you ask me, there are two possibilities here. She either ran away or she was kidnapped. There's really no middle ground here. She didn't seem to have any enemies and her family wasn't wealthy, so it seems unlikely that she would have been kidnapped for ransom. So let's assume that she did run away. Why would she leave her home without any of her belongings? And if she intended to do so, why wouldn't she take her phone or laptop with her? She was 23 years old, so she was an adult and capable of making her own decisions. But it just doesn't make sense to abandon everything and leave without a trace. This doesn't add up. Even if you want to believe that this was a runaway case, there are still too many loose ends. Why did the staff at her workplace not notice anything unusual? She worked there regularly and was well liked by her coworkers. They would have noticed if she seemed depressed or acted out of the ordinary in any way. Then there's the fact that her blood was found in the apartment. If she did plan to run away, why not pack up and go after getting her things together? Maybe she had somewhere else in mind besides her home. But then, how did the blood get in her room? And if it wasn't from her room, why was it found there? I think the most plausible explanation is that she was kidnapped. But I can't help but wonder why she was chosen. It's not like she was famous or rich. To be honest, there aren't many details about her life. All we know is that she was 23 years old, worked at a restaurant, and had a younger brother. Nothing about her personality or hobbies or friends. It's not clear if the police ever caught the person responsible for this crime. I did some digging but couldn't find anything. This isn't a situation where the media blew the story out of proportion. No one reported on it at all. It's like Valyria just vanished into thin air. I understand that this is a sensitive topic and that many people disagree with me. But it's just bizarre that no one has heard from her in 5 years, and her case is still unsolved. Her brother's dark joke about selling her blood is even more disturbing when you consider that her blood may have saved her abductor's life. It's possible that she was killed, but we don't know for sure. I searched for updates on her case, but the only thing I found was a news article published in 2013. It says that her family refuses to give up hope that she will be found alive. They say that she is a kind person who would unhurt a fly, and that she would never voluntarily go without her cell phone. Another thing that I found weird was the response from the general public. Many people were speculating that she had gotten plastic surgery and was living under a new identity. And others claimed that her parents were lying about her disappearance, and that she was actually dead. Some people even said that her body was in the trunk of her family's car. These theories became so widespread that her family had to make a public statement denying them. There's no evidence that she got plastic surgery. And as far as the rumors about her parents, come on, does this look like the face of a woman who would kill her own daughter? Her brother left this comment on the forum, says that he understands why people have their suspicions, but that his parents would never cover up her death. He also says that the police told them to stop searching for her because it was a lost cause. But he refused to accept that his sister was gone. He still searches for her every day and hopes that one day they will be reunited. He left another comment a couple of days later, says that he was talking to one of his sister's friends and learned that she had confided in her about a stalker. She had told her friend that she was uncomfortable with this man following her around. She believed that he was trying to abduct her. Unfortunately, her friend convinced her to just ignore the man, and it's possible that's what she did. You can see how someone could jump to the conclusion that she was kidnapped. If this is true, then it makes sense why her abductor chose her. She probably looked like an easy target. But what confuses me is why the police didn't investigate this lead further. Another thing that doesn't add up is, why would she willingly go to her apartment after knowing that she had a stalker? You would think that she would have gone to a public place to hide. For example, if I were being stalked and knew that my life was in danger, I wouldn't go home. I would go somewhere where there are other people. Maybe she did. That's what the police want everyone to believe. But in reality, she was taken from her home. According to statistics, 1 in 6 women will be stalked in their lifetime. And as of February 2022, stalking is still not considered a federal crime. If this story is true, then it's a prime example of why stalking laws need to change. Before I end this video, I want to share some advice that I received from a friend. She says that if you feel like you're being stalked, don't try to reason with the person. Don't talk to them or try to negotiate with them. Instead, you should start screaming and running in the opposite direction. Also, once you get to safety, don't wait for the police to protect you. Take matters into your own hands. Get a restraining order, change your phone number, move to a different city. Do whatever you have to do to protect yourself, because the police won't do it for you. Thank you for watching.